Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kris with Kris on Sports. Just coming at y'all today, November 3rd. This is the first edition of the Kris on Sports Report. I'm going to be doing these hopefully every week if I can. Just going to talk about different things going on with Louisiana sports and just the different things that I'm interested in. So let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is the LSU game against Alabama this weekend. Definitely looking forward to it. I always do. But unfortunately, Alabama's won this game 6 years in a row. The last time LSU won was, of course, the game of the century back in 2011, which was a great game. But it's been a while for us to win this game. So I'm looking forward to it. Alabama, of course, only allows like 60 yards a game, like maybe 10 points a game, something like that. So yards and points are going to be at a premium for the Tigers, and but one positive spin on it is they are coming off probably, I would say, their best offensive game of the season, if I had to just say it, against Ole Miss. And granted, that is against Ole Miss, whose defense is below average to say anything. So we'll see what happens. I'm always hopeful that LSU can figure out a way to do something in this game. The last few times they played Alabama, they have always kept it very close, and just Alabama made plays at the end to win. Especially a few years ago when McCarron hit Yeldon for that screen pass, and LSU had that game. They had the game won. Last year, nothing going into the fourth quarter. It was anybody's game, and Alabama just, you got to give them credit. They made the plays, and LSU did it at the end. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm hopeful LSU wins the game, but until somebody beats Alabama, it's hard to say that Alabama's going to lose to anyone. So, just my prediction right now is I hope LSU keeps it close, but I'm thinking more maybe a 20-13 game-ish, somewhere in that range. Hopefully a little closer than some of the experts think, but we'll see about that. So yeah, give me y'all's thoughts in the comments. Who you think's going to win? Why? Whatever, that'd be cool. Moving on to my next topic, I want to talk about the Saints game against Tampa Bay. The Saints have won 6 in a row, going for 7. They haven't done that in at least 3-4 years. Tampa Bay definitely underachieving this year, 2-5, when a lot of people probably were expecting these two teams to have each other's record, right? If the Tampa Bay was 6-2 and the Saints were 2-5. Most people would have probably said, "Oh yeah, that's what I would have thought." But the Saints are surprising people, and Tampa Bay is obviously surprising people the wrong way. So it's going to be a good game. The Saints can't take Tampa Bay lightly, just because they've been struggling this year. You can't take them lightly. You got to come out and step on them, run the ball down their throat, get some turnovers, and put this game down. That's really it for me. Is the defense has to play well again, which I think they will. To run the ball, we got to keep running the ball. You can't expect Drew to go throw for 400 every game, and this year they haven't, which is good. So I think the Saints probably do maybe a 28-17 type win, somewhere in that range. Is kind of my guess. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing what the Saints do on Sunday as well. Next on my list is I got the Pelicans, who of course are mediocre at best so far to start the season. They beat Cleveland, but that's at the time that was probably saying something, but not now. Cleveland, is 3-5 now? So the Pelicans win over Cleveland doesn't look as good as it did on the night they did it. The Cousins and Anthony Davis are obviously balling out. They both averaging over 25 a game for the season. So, the difference is, the problem is not Boogie and it's not Anthony Davis. The problem is finding other guys that can put the ball in the goal, put the ball in the hoop. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I said goal. It's funny. Anyways, so looking at the next 5 games the Pelicans have, they've got the Mavericks. The Bulls, looking at my notes here, they got the Pacers and the Raptors all on the road. They gotta try to go 3-1 in those 4 games, and then they finally come back home next Saturday, the 11th, when they play the Clippers. So that's 2 hard games in a row right there. The end of next week with the Raptors and the Clippers in the span of 3 days. So they really have to go to Dallas and Chicago and Indiana and win those 3 games. They have to, because they get too far under 500, you're not making the playoffs. And right now, in my opinion, the best the Pelicans can hope for is try to get in as an 8 seed. That's the best chance they have. They're not going to be a top 4 team or a top 6 team. They have to sneak in as the 8, which means they'll play the Warriors in the first round probably, and get swept probably. But it's better than not making the playoffs really. But so. That's it with the Pelicans. I love them to death, but they got to get some more shooters around Cousins and Davis, or else they're just not going to go anywhere. And just hopefully we'll see something happen that will allow that to happen. So a couple other miscellaneous things I wanted to just discuss real quick. Yesterday we found out that DeShaun Watson hurt his ACL and is out for the year, and I was just really bummed out by that. I mean, I'm not a Houston sports fan in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of friends who are actually Astros fans, so they're really happy that the Astros won the World Series. I was never a huge baseball fan to begin with, so I've rooted kind of half-heartedly for like maybe the Cardinals and stuff like that, but just because I have family members who are big Cardinals fans. But with all that said, it just sucks that DeShaun got hurt. And just imagine if you're a Houston fan. Now you go to bed one night and the Astros won the World Series. You're over the moon. You can't believe it. And then the next day you're at work. You're excited. You telling everybody how great the Astros are, and then bang, your football season's shot pretty much. Because if you're Houston now, you're going to start Tom Savage, and I don't know what's going to go on there. You might as well start Fred Savage. That's the 3rd time I've made that joke in the last 2 days, but it's still funny. So whatever. There were some rumors that they would sign Colin Kaepernick. I'd love to see them do that. I believe he deserves another chance to play if he's capable. Somebody should at least give him a shot. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to happen, and it's sad. But that's a whole nother video. I'm just really, Watson was on pace. He was going to be the Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt about it. But one silver lining, if you're a Saints fan, is that maybe this opens the door for Marshawn Lattimore to come in and be, the Rookie of the Year. He should be the Defensive Rookie of the Year, I would think, the way he's playing right now. And I read online that he's only had like 5 or 6 passes completed against him all season in 7 games, which is an outstanding number. So we'll see what happens. And lastly, I was just watching this a little while ago, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, was Ezekiel Elliott. So, you have this back and forth of he's going to play this week, and now he might not play this week, and then, oh, wait, never mind, he's going to play this week now. Something just tells me that the people pulling the strings on this are setting it up to where, if Dallas gets to where they can make the playoffs, which a lot of people still think they will, even though they have some work to do, that they'll end up suspending him to make it to where either he'll miss like the last 6 games of the regular season and kind of screw Dallas from making the playoffs, or they'll suspend him to where he'll end up having to miss the playoff game. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a Cowboys fan whatsoever. So, if Cowboys don't make the playoffs, I'm happy. But, it just seems to me like all this back and forth with his case, it just seems like that it's almost like they're timing it so they can suspend him for certain games that they want him to miss. And there's no way I can prove that that's what's going on or not going on or whatever, but it just seems like that. It's just, I'm waiting for his suspension to kick in like at the worst possible point in the season for the Cowboys, And I'll take it. If that ends up meaning the Cowboys miss the playoffs, then so be it. But it's kind of weird. He could have easily just missed the first 6 games and everybody could have gotten this over with, and he could be playing now and nobody would care anymore. But now that you have this roller coaster thing going back and forth, it's like, you got this tennis. I tweeted earlier that it reminded me of like suspension tennis. They're playing tennis with whether he's going to be suspended or not. And at one point, do they actually hold it to him and actually say, okay, now you're suspended, it's done, there's no takebacks. So it's just funny to me. But that's it for this one. Not super long this time, but I'll be doing more videos, so go Tigers this weekend. We'll see. We'll see what happens against Alabama. Like I said, I'm hopeful, and I'm looking forward to it. Who dat? Go to Saints. Let's go. Hopefully the Pelicans can kind of go 3-2 over the next week, and start kind of keeping in range of getting an 8 seed. And prayers up to DeShaun Watson. Come back stronger next year and do well again. I'm looking forward to it. And somebody make up your damn mind about when you're going to suspend Zeke Elliott, please. Just make up your damn mind already. But that's it. Y'all take care. I'll talk to y'all next time. Subscribe to Kris on Sports now to get all the latest opinions on the Saints, LSU, the Pelicans, and the Predators.